It's GT Divide Podcast coming out to another episode. Try to make this one quick. Um, they're going to play the race card, but I'm not even worried about the race card on this one. What I really want to kind of look at is what happened in this situation. Talk about um, some things that I see that are incorrect, that are improper in this situation, um, and then kind of talk about better outcomes based on my experience. So I'm gonna let it run a little bit and let him kind of. He's gonna say a white deputy shoots a black woman. He's gonna definitely play up the race card, but I don't think this one was even about race or anything. I think this was about incompetence on behalf of the officer that responded to the scene.
To get to some breaking news, we just got new video, body cam video, showing a white sheriff's deputy shooting and killing a black woman. We want to warn you, we have blurred this video, but it is extremely disturbing.
You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So number one, they're saying that she has boiling hot water or hot water that was on the stove. He asked her to get it off the stove. Um, she says something toward him, something about rebuke you in the name of Jesus or something like that. So she grabs the pot. Now he's drawn down on her. So he feels like at this point in time that she is a threat of death or severe bodily harm. Um, Her weapon of choice is some hot water from the stove. And you look at the distance that they are away from each other in this here photo. And then we're also going to look at his partner, what his partner does as well. So now he's giving her commands to put the water down. You can't really see what she's doing. My guy doesn't have his body cam on. So you can't even see his point of view on this shooting, which is obviously not good. I would never want to be on a scene and have an officer involved shooting where I don't have my camera on, because then you can't see what I see. So right here, we can't see anything. We don't know what she's holding or anything like that.
Drop the pot! Drop the pot! Drop the pot!
Okay, so we're going to back up a little bit here. And so he's giving her commands.
You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot! Drop the pot! Drop the pot!
Okay, so two things. Number one, his partner, if his partner starts shooting, he's going to shoot his partner in the back. That's number one. So their tactics here are terrible. Two, my guy is walking up to her, putting himself in harm's way. In this situation, you've got a chick with some hot water in a pot who ducks down. It looks like the pot is red that she has, but she ducks down behind the cabinets over here. So instead of backing out to get behind better cover or put yourself in a better position where the water can't hit you, that you're basically saying is the threat of great bodily harm or death. He encroaches on her now. So now he's moving up. His partner obviously didn't feel a need to move up until this guy moves up. So now that his partner moves up, now he's like, well, dang, I got to move up too. Um, he's got his muzzle right in the back of his partner. So if he shoots, even if he shoots, and it looks like his finger is definitely on the trigger there. So if he accidentally shoots, he's probably going to be shooting his partner. So there's definitely some incompetence on behalf of these two officers in this situation, that they would even be in this situation in the first place.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
The video shows police entering Sonya Massey's home after she called 911 for help. She was shot in the face after she picked up a pot of water. The shooting prompting first-degree murder charges against former Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson. Authorities say Massey had initially called police to report a prowler. President Biden released a statement on her death.
So don't really care about President Biden's speech or anything like that. We're going to go through this one more time. We might go through it again after this, but I want you guys to kind of see that he draws down on her, okay? Which, if he can articulate and justify himself drawing down on her because of the water that was hot in a pot that came off of a stove. I don't know how far she's going to throw the water. I don't, there's a whole bunch of factors involved. But at the start of this whole thing, he has distance, right? And you never are, you're trained not to close the distance until you're ready to make an arrest, right? And so her holding a pot of water is not illegal for her to hold a pot of water. So I didn't see any reason for them to move in to make an arrest on her. I don't think she was under arrest because they never said she was. And so here you have a lady that's not under arrest, is not doing anything criminal, that ends up getting shot in the face. That is what happens when bad tactics is put you in a situation like this. She could be mental. Yes, it's possible that she could be mental. And the way we're trained, if somebody's mental, we have conversations with them. We have an integrated care team. They're therapists that literally would come on the scene and have a conversation with her. They will have a conversation with her, figure out if she's safe at home by herself, figure out if she may need more therapy or if she may need more attention from a medical facility or some type of mental health facility. And so you call those resources. I don't know if they have those resources where these guys are at, but what I can tell you is that escalating to the point of pulling your gun out and that situation is crazy. If I was in his shoes, I would not be in fear for my life. I would tell her to put the pot down. And if she wants me out the house, we're leaving because we don't even need to be inside the house. I don't even know why they're in there. They're not investigating a criminal matter, right? Just because she's mental, that's not illegal. She can be mental, and that's fine. As long as she doesn't want to harm herself or anybody else, she might be seeing things. And many times that I've been in houses, I've talked to people that are seeing things. That's not illegal. They're not going to harm anybody. They're just seeing things. People have mental health issues. And so I'm not going to pull my gun on them. I'll leave. If you want me to leave, you got the hot water up, you're doing what I asked you to do. Because from what I've seen in some of the videos that I've seen, he asked her to get that pot off of the stove and turn it off. So that's what she was doing. She said something derogatory or something to him. I don't know if it triggered him or not. And then she ducks down. So for me, ducking down is a sign that she is in fear. She's afraid of something. And you don't know what's going on inside her mind. If she has mental health issues, we don't know. So my guy pulls a gun out, tells her he's going to shoot her in the fucking face. I don't know that I would use that language. I've been in some situations where yes, I've had to pull my gun out. I don't talk to people like that on the streets. Um, I'm respectful because at the end of the day, no matter what, people have dignity, and if you take that away from them, you take away everything they have. And so I don't speak to people like that on the streets. I'm not going to make a threat to shoot you in the fucking face. I will command you to drop it down. If I'm drawing down on you, you have water. I'm just going to say, put the pot down, ma'am. Put the pot down. Put the pot down. I don't want to shoot you. Those are usually words that you'll hear from me. A lot of my partners that I work with, we will literally tell you that we don't want to shoot you. Our goal is not to shoot you. We didn't get dressed this morning to come to your house and shoot you over a pot of water. And so I think that we have to understand that. We have to have that mindset. And I think that this guy didn't have that mindset. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what happened. I know that they showed up to a call. She was calling in for a prowler. She seemed like she was okay. Um, as soon as she's okay, that's fine. Like if she has mental health issues, do we need to press it? How much further do we need to press it? But this is what happens when you go over and beyond and do more than what you need to do in a situation. And this does happen. This happens typically people that lack confidence. Like me in that situation, if she said she was cool, I'm out of there. When I wouldn't even have had to go inside the house. Like to me, what's the point in putting myself inside? I don't even know what's inside the house. So and if you're afraid because she's mental, then why would you even go in there? You don't know what she got in there. What if she has a gun inside the house? We don't know that. And so we go inside our house because we're trying to do a mental health evaluation. But at the end of the day, she's not seeming suicidal from any of the stuff that I've seen. She doesn't seem to have any cognitive issues where she's going to harm herself or others. She's just not all there, and that's okay. That is okay. That is the majority of people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I feel like these guys should not understand, right? Me, I would understand in this situation. Okay, she is probably mental, right? She don't have a knife. She don't have a gun in her hand. She got a pot of water. In my eyes, that does not require deadly force. That requires me to back the heck up out the house. Like, okay, ma'am, you want us to leave? If anything changes, call us back out. We're out of here. We will. I mean, if I draw my gun on her, draw my gun on her, whatever. But I'm backing out as I'm drawing my gun. I'm coming out of that household because we don't know what else she's got. Because if she turns violent, now we've escalated a situation because of our presence. Our presence is good when it's needed, but it can be bad when it's not needed. And so I think the officers have to understand that there's going to be situations when you just walk away. There's going to be situations where your presence is no longer needed. Like you came, asked the questions that you needed to ask, got the answers you need to get, and now it's time to roll on up out of there. And I think that these guys, I don't know about the main guy, I don't know about his history. Just by this bad tactics, is he could have been shot too. His partner could have shot him in the back. Had he accidentally, he's got his finger on the trigger. Had he accidentally shot, he's shooting his partner in the back. So clearly, these guys had no idea what they were doing inside of this house. Nobody had a plan. His partner took charge, and his partner ended up shooting her in the face like he said he was going to do. I don't know that I would use the language that he used, which is kind of crazy to me. But yeah, she didn't seem like she was going to be that a threat. She's next to the sink. She's got a pot of hot water. She might have said something to him. We didn't really hear what she said to him. His partner's, if his axon is on, we could probably see what he sees, hear what he hears, but we can't because he didn't even have his on in the first place. So obviously he didn't feel like this was a type of encounter that required him to turn on his camera, which policy where I'm at, you turn on your camera every single time you get contact anybody, you turn on your camera.
Better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the
She said, okay, I'm sorry. Ducks down first because he pulls his gun out. So she's ducking down, normal. What a normal person would do that. Got the pot up here, and then she's going to duck down again. I don't know at what point, because you can't see her. So you can't see her. His axon's not on. He's the one taking the shots. His partner's axon's on, but his partner's behind him. So he's blocking the view of his partner's axon. So we can't even see what she's doing when she ducks down. Because you're going to see, she said, I'm sorry. And then she ducks down. She has the pot in her hands right up here. I don't know that she's going to be able to chuck that pot that far. How far is water going to go? And water's rapidly cooling as it's going through the air anyway. So how far is that water going to go? We don't know. But we'll look through it here again.
pot. Drop the pot.
So now she ducks down. Partner's got his gun out. This idiot here is going to walk in front of his partner's gun. I don't know why he decided to do that. That was stupid. So this is one of the training things that I was talking about. So they're encroaching on a suspect, right? We'll call her a suspect. I don't believe she's gonna be able to really harm anybody with the water. The pot is hot, and then you got to hold it the right way, and you're chucking water like this. I don't know how far you can chuck water like that. But she ducks down. She says she's sorry. Ducks the gun originally because she's scared. She's obviously scared shitless. Like she's got a gun pointed at her. He says he's going to shoot her in the fucking face, language I would not use. And now he's encroaching on the individual. And his partner's gun is pointed toward the individual, and he's going to walk in front of his partner's gun. So boom, right here, first shot. If he has sympathetic fire because his finger's on the trigger, I can see it in the top corner. If he has sympathetic fire, he's shooting his partner like right in like the armpit area. And our vests don't cover that. So this could be a lethal shot on his own partner. Because of the angle of his body, he could have been shot right here, and then he could be in some serious shit. So first shot goes off. So he shoots 3 times.
Shots fired.
The video shows police entering Sonya Massey's home after she called 911 for help. She was shot in the face after she picked up.
And I think you see some steam kind of coming up here, probably from the water that was on the floor. But she ducked down. So at that point, when she ducks down behind this counter here, that is your opportunity to back out. She's not doing anything criminal. She's not a convicted felon. She didn't murder anybody. She doesn't have a gun pointed at you. She doesn't have a knife in her hand. None of that. She has some hot water. So you could back out of the house, right? Get outside the door. Now you've got more distance. She's behind this. I mean, you're probably looking at 20 to 30 feet back to the front door. You and your partner get behind that front door, one on each side, and then you guys can have a conversation from there. Safer for everybody in the situation. And I think that's one thing that people get wrong. They think that, a lot of officers get this wrong. They think that we got to encroach on the person. No, You can back up, give yourself time, because with distance, you gain more time to react. So if she does throw the water, you're outside the door now. You just back off further away, right? You guys can back off further away now. So as opposed to encroaching on her and walking in front of his buddy's muzzle, about to get shot in his back like an idiot, he decides to move up. Why he did that, I don't know. Like, do you absolutely need to see her with the pot of hot water to be able to know that she hasn't? And she has it in her hand when she ducks down, she's probably still got it. So the opportunity. And I'm not saying I'm opposed to them drawing down on her. If he felt and he can articulate here that he's in fear of great bodily harm, death, or great bodily harm or death because of the hot water, okay, you drew down on her, got you. Give her some commands. I wouldn't say I'm going to shoot you in the fucking face, but give her some commands. Hey, drop the water. Put the water down as you're backing out. Hey, partner, we're backing out. So we're backing out. We're going out the front door. And then you have some concealment from the water that she might throw with the front door, because water ain't going to go through a wall. It'll probably barely get from where she is to the front door. But if she does come running, now you have more distance so you can react. So if she comes running, she's got the pod in her hands. Now you guys are outside the front door, right? You can still be drawn down if that's what you feel like you need to do in the situation, but you're outside the front door, and now you guys can continue to back away, gain more distance, right? And if she continues to come at you, then she turns into something else, right? It turns into more of an ag assault LEO. And I'm fine with them articulating that in this situation. She's got a pot of hot water. She could probably jack your face up pretty well if she dumps it on there. Okay, I understand that. Right. That's fine. If that's the way that you want to articulate this and say that this thing's going, but she would have to make the overaction of coming at you with the hot water. We don't know what she does. Homeboy's Axon camera is off in this situation, and the only dude who did anything right in this was him. He kept his distance. He was behind the TV. There's a room. So he's behind the TV. There's a room. He's got some concealment from the hot water. So his partner actually did the right thing. The other guy's just out in the open. I don't know why he's out in the open. He's probably the type of cop that'll be in a shootout and walk away from his cover. I'm just going to be on the open and shoot. And we're just going to do Wild Wild West shootout when they do the quick draw. Like, that seems like the type of guy that he is. But yeah, his Axon's on, so we can't see what he is seeing. And they've charged him with first-degree murder. So, and honestly, I think they're going to get him. This is definitely not a good shoot. I disagree with him shooting a woman with some hot water, especially with the distance that he originally had. I mean, the distance that he originally had is a decent enough distance to where not all, though I highly doubt she's going to be able to chuck that water like this, because how she's holding the pot like this, she's going to chuck the water like this. I don't think the water is going to go super far. So give yourself more distance. If he were to give himself more distance, hey, partner, we're backing out. And they could back out together. Okay, partner up, we're backing out. So you can, and like I said, in this situation, if they want to have their guns drawn, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them having their guns drawn, because there's the fear of great bodily harm, some type of severe injury. Because hot water can burn the hell out of you. It can do some damage to you. Can hot water kill you? Yes, it can. Right? Get it in your throat while your mouth's open or something like that, and who knows what happens. And so there's so many things that are probably going on in their heads right now that it's spinning. But you have to be able to make the right decision when the time comes. Understand the threat or perceived threat, and then make the right decisions. Or don't put yourself in a situation where you got to do this. Don't encroach on the subject. Don't move up to the subject unless you're intending to arrest that person, or you've already shot them and you're trying to see if they're down or if they need more. So if you're in a shootout with somebody and you shoot them, they go down, right? You stay lethal, you're moving up, your partner's moving up with you, handcuffing, and then you're going to render aid. It is to my understanding that these gentlemen didn't even render aid to her. I mean, I understand you shot her in the face, but you can still attempt to render aid, right? Is she unconscious? Do you need to do CPR? Right? Those are things that you have to ask yourself in this situation. Is she unconscious? Do you need to do CPR? They didn't even do none of that. And so that's what leads me to believe that, I mean, this is incompetence at its best on the law enforcement department. Um, this is an officer that is probably afraid or fearful. There's a lot more fearful officers being hired in all departments all across the United States. Criminals are getting more bold and more ballsy, but they're hiring. It's the whole diversity and inclusion stuff that they're doing, even with the Secret Service, letting a dude get on the top of a freaking roof with a rifle and not shooting him. Like, that's the type of stuff that's happening in law enforcement. And what we have to understand is that that is dangerous for the community when you employ somebody like that. You have to have somebody who has less fear. You can't have somebody that's fearful. If they're afraid, they're more likely to do some shit like this. This dude's gonna say, I thought she was gonna kill me with the hot water, even though I was 20 feet away from her, and I probably doubt that she'd get it to me, but I think she was gonna kill me, so I shot her in the face. You let like this the type this is the type of guy that won't. It'll be a dude with a knife. He'll be 50, 60 feet away from that person and shoot him like, well, I thought they were gonna cut me, even though he has distance and he may have barriers between him and the person with the knife. And so those are the type of things that you don't first. Number one, don't encroach on the subject. Number two, understand all your options. You do have the duty to you can back out. Numerous times I've been in situations where we have backed out of places, right? Guns drawn, we're going to protect ourselves. I'm going to protect myself as I back out. I'm not just going to be like, okay, we're done, put my gun up. No. If my body told me to draw down, I'm drawing down, but I'm backing out. Hey, could have been as easy as, ma'am, I understand you're upset. All right, but we're going to leave. Put the water down. Give her commands. Put the water down. Put the water down. Ma'am, I understand that you're upset, but we're going to leave your residence. All right. Just give us a little bit of, just give us time to get out of here safely. Okay. Don't do anything crazy. We do not want to shoot you. We are going to leave your residence. You can calmly say that in a situation like this. And then you can back out. And then maybe that calm demeanor, that calm voice, get whatever triggered her, gets her to be able to calm down. And then maybe she don't have the pot in her hand anymore. Right? So many things went wrong here. So many things could have gotten worse here. I mean, it could have got shot in the back, as you guys saw. I'm gonna play it one more time before we get out of here, but there's so many opportunities for them to have made the right decision, but they made the wrong decision. And that is the problem in law enforcement today. When you hire people that are weak minded, that are soft, sensitive people, this is the type of shit that happens. A strong personality, somebody who is not fearful, is not going to make this type of mistake. I, for one, would not be afraid of some hot water. If I'm damn near at the door of a house and she's at the kitchen sink and we're talking 30 feet, I'm not afraid of some hot water. I'm not going to be afraid of some hot water. I'm literally what I just told you. If I felt like I needed to have my gun out and draw it down on her, I'm okay with the paperwork that comes with that. Ma'am, we don't want to shoot you. Please put the hot water down. I understand you're upset. We are going to leave. We're going to back out of your house. Please allow us the opportunity to back out of your house. Don't come up with the hot water, and we'll be good. And then you just back your way out of there. And then guess what? Everybody lives to see another day. This young lady, I don't. It is. I don't believe, in my personal belief, in my training experience, I don't believe that she had to die this day. I think that you have overzealous, fearful officers or deputies or whatever these dudes are that have some terrible training. Because, my man, to walk in front of a muzzle of another man's gun is a scary thing, man. I tell you, that's my biggest fear ever, is getting shot in the back by a partner. But I'm not going to put myself in a position to get shot in the back, right? You move in a line. That's how we practice. You move in a line. That way your guns are the same. So if I'm going up, I turn over here, we turn over here. If we're backing up together, right? We're moving forward together. That's how you keep yourself and your partner safe. And then it also allows for more guns in a fight. Because say this is she comes up with a rifle, and you have one gun in the fight, because this idiot decides to walk in front of his partner, and his partner's gun is pointing at his back. Now his partner has to step over this way because he can't step over to the other side because there's a TV right there. So it's tight. He put his partner in a bad position, right? The only person with an axe on is in a bad position. you step in front of him. I think this guy gets charged. I think this guy gets convicted. This does not have a good look. I don't think this is a racial thing. I don't think that there's no race card stuff that needs to be played here. I think this is just incompetent police officers, incompetent policing. I don't know what their training is, but there's something wrong with their training if this is the type of actions that they take in situations like this. I think that they need to understand the force continuum, right? The force that they're using compared to the force that we're putting back. I think they need to understand that. I also think that they need to understand um, what it is that they're doing when they show up to a scene. What's your plan? When you show up to a call like this, you probably have a lady that may have some mental issues that's saying that she's got a prowler at nighttime, so she's probably seeing things, right? It's okay, right? We're gonna show up, we're gonna have a conversation with her. I don't even need to go inside her house. If she's sitting outside her house and she says, "Hey, there's somebody that's been peeping around my house," we'll go around with our flashlights, we'll walk around her house, make her feel safe. Hey, is there anything else we need to do for you today, ma'am? Nope. Okay. Okay, cool. If we have to get if we get called back out there, guess what? I'm gonna go back out there and check around her house again. Like it's not a huge deal. Like that's what our job is. That's what we're trained to do. That's what we are supposed to do as law enforcement officers. So it's not a huge deal. I've dealt with many people like this where they see things. I know for a fact that they're seeing things. I know that for a fact. But for their peace of mind, I will still show up. I will still go out there. I will still have a conversation with this person. I will walk around the house, flashlights, making sure that everything's safe. So that way they feel safe, right? So you help them feel safe. They may call back. She may have called them back out there later on and said somebody was outside peeping around her house. And guess what? You show back up. You have a conversation with her. Hey, we'll check around and make sure nobody's outside your house. Go check around her house again. Like it doesn't hurt. Just because somebody has some mental health issues doesn't mean you have to press the issue. And these gentlemen pressed the issue, and now one of them was being charged with murder, multiple counts of murder, to say the least. Because I think he hit her with all three shots. That's what I've heard. That's kind of what I've seen from other news outlets. He hit her with all three shots. So in each shot, you have to account for each shot that you take. So if the first shot is a headshot and she's down, and you keep shooting, you're going to have to answer to those subsequent shots. If you miss, you're going to have to answer to that shot too. That's what we signed up for as law enforcement officers. That's what we're supposed to do. But this is what happens when you have people on the force that probably shouldn't be there. Just because a person's muscular and big does not mean that they're not fearful. That has nothing to do with what's up here. And I think that what's up here is more important than all this. A lot of dudes who train their physique and try to get all buff and all that jazz are your most fearful dudes that I've ever met. Just because the dude's buff does not mean he's tough. But I think that's part of what happened here. I think there's some training issues. But yeah, I don't know, because you never step in front. We're going to watch it one more time just for me to see it again, because I probably won't watch it again after this. But guys, this is absolutely nuts. This should not have happened. Like, this is the type of stuff that should not happen. The news is going to play the race card. I don't think this is race related. Just a white guy shot a black chick. Okay, gotcha. But I don't think it's race related. I think there's so much other stuff going on here that's under the surface that people aren't paying attention to.
You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the
She said, "Okay, I'm sorry." She is fearful right here. She ducks down twice with the pot in her hand. She's scared. That right there would lead me to believe. Now, if I just, like I said, if I justify pulling out my gun on her, okay, I got my gun out on her. We're here. Now I have to do something or figure out something. So in my mind, I'm circulating the Rolodex trying to figure out, okay, is she a threat or is she just mental? Okay, she's just mental. She's not a threat. Okay, hey, buddy, we're going to back the heck up out of here. And like I said, ma'am, please don't do anything with that hot pot of water. We're going to back out of your house. We're going to leave. Because right now, at this point in time, she has not committed a crime. So I don't feel the need to stay inside her house and push this thing further. His buddy is encroached by the TV, like I said. And as he comes over to the right more, his buddy has no line of sight of her. Like I said, any other situation, she might come up with a rifle. Buddy's gone. Pop, 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 pop. All it takes is a couple shots from that range with a rifle. Dude's gone, right? Or he shoots his buddy in the back. Now, so either way, his buddy put himself in a bad situation. But she's fearful. She's clearly fearful for her life right here. She may not be all there. So you may be messing, you may be on a call. This person may be autistic and they're holding a pot of water. You have to understand the situation. The safest person in the room right now is the man with the gun in his hand because ain't nobody else got a gun. She don't got a gun. She got some hot water. Which one do you think is a more deadly weapon, right? The gun is. So he's the most safest person in the world in the room right now. So with that safety, you can slow it down a little bit, make better decisions.
Pot the drop the pot.
So now you can't see her. I don't know what this is right here that's blocking the view, but you can't see her. Can't see the pot. And he's moving his way forward. It's a mistake. That's a huge mistake. You don't move forward to the subject unless shots have been fired. You shot that person. They're down. And you're trying to get to the point of rendering aid to that person, get him in custody, render aid. Or if you're going to make an arrest. So this person's complied with your commands. They got their hands behind their back, on the interlaced on their forehead, wherever, or the back of their head, whatever you guys do in your training. Then you move up. You're moving up with the handcuffs. So you've got a crime that's committed, and you're handcuffing this person.
19 shots fired. Shots fired.
The video shows police entering Sonya Massey's home after she.
So again, people like this, cops like this, make a bad rap for people out here that are actually trying to do the job right. But yeah, this is what happens when you have fearful people on the force that should not be there. The lady did not deserve to die this day. She didn't really commit a crime. I don't know what crime you could say she committed. Besides just maybe she had some mental issues. And like I've said before, that's okay. I deal with that. We deal with that on a daily. These guys probably deal with that on a daily. So, what I hear is that the guy knows that she has mental issues. So I'm like, if you know she got mental issues, then you should know how to interact with her, right? I wouldn't even have told her to pick the pot up. Why do we got to bring the pot into this? I don't care if the water boils all the way down to no more water in there. Don't have her pick up something that can be perceived as a weapon and then shoot her for doing what the hell you told her to do. Right? That's the mindset that you got to have. That's the type of dumb shit that happens out on the streets. This is tragedy. My condolences to the family. I hope those officers get better training down there because that was ridiculous. I've never seen anything more stupid in my life. Well, I have. Because trust me, when I was younger on the department, I probably did some dumb stuff too. Never pointed my gun at a partner though. Never had my gun out. I had a partner walk in front of me, and I've never myself walked in front of a gun. I've never done that stupid. But sometimes you make the wrong decisions. But in situations like this, you cannot make the wrong decision. When it comes to taking a person's life, you can absolutely not make the wrong decision. The wrong decision will ruin your whole entire life. He probably got family. He's got a fiance. I don't know if he's got kids or whatever, but that ruined their life too. And so, like I said, this is one of those that's I don't believe this is going to be a justified shooting. Like there's nothing that tells me that this dude should be in fear of great bodily harm or death from some hot water, especially the distance that he was. You close the distance, you put yourself in harm's way. That's on you. At that point in time, you've taken it upon yourself to put yourself in harm's way. You pay the consequences for whatever happens after that. So hopefully they get training, they can make better decisions, but this should not have happened. It's GT the Bio Podcast though. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. Comment on this one. This is definitely a huge one for the United States. I know it's going to be a lot of political talk about it. Again, I don't think this is racially motivated. I don't think this has anything to do with race. I think this is incompetence on the behalf of the police officers. That's my belief on this one from what I'm seeing. But terrible things happen. Got to learn from them. You just hope that it doesn't end in somebody's death. So again, my condolences to the families. GT5 Podcast. I'm out.